Olay's text ad headline used to be Olay eye concern and treatment products for around the eye. It used to be very product focused, call to action focus, this is the product information. Now, if you do the same search, dark circles under eyes, the actual text ad headline changes to what causes under eye circles, ? Easy lifestyle tips from Olay. Have you seen the change there? Because the way you as users use Google has changed. We put in questions to Google and we expect answers. And the way Google Ads works in terms of how you need to be more, I'd say, more creative and expansive with your text ads, especially with responsive search ads where you can have up to, 12, 16 headlines. And which ones to use is you've got to provide more information. It's become, it used to be where platforms like Instagram used to be very discovery focused and Google was very e-commerce, let's say purchase focused. Whereas I'd say Instagram is very purchase focused and Google is now discovery focused. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok are more purchase led now. Platforms like Google very discovery led, because when you're searching for products or services, your text ads aren't just going to say, 50% sale, because as consumers, we want value. We want to know we're buying a product that's going to give us what we need. So if you're buying a cosmetic product like what Olay were offering, where you're searching for dark circles under eyes, it's saying, well, what are the underlying causes and how can you treat that? And I guarantee you, when you click on that ad, that page, that product page, it will have the product, but the product description will be, brief, but it will talk about how this product helps with the problems you're looking for, what it serves. It's really, 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 really good. The other things I want you to really focus on when it comes to PPC is the future of PPC. So we've talked about automation and iRobot, haven't we? And essentially that's what's going to happen. The use of artificial intelligence that Google has, and that's another bugbear I have, because I heard so many people have the issue with the financial verification form on Google Ads when they're not even offering finance, but because of the certain keywords they were offering. We had a client that was told by FCA that did not need to be FCA regulated for what they were doing, providing credit reports and company reports. But Google turned around and said, no, you have to be. So Google, are you FCA? Can someone explain that to me? If the FCA themselves say that they don't need to be. And you know why that form doesn't complete? Because again, it's a bot. It's an AI element that takes your responses. And I'm not going to say who I spoke to at Google, because they're a good mate and, source. They talked about how it was a show inside Google with the whole forms. And this is a problem you have. You've got a multi-billion-dollar company that can't even do a simple form, which impacted so many companies. I get it if you're financial or you're an e-commerce and you're offering Klarna and Divide By and you're FCA regulated, that's fine. But what about companies that weren't offering that got impacted by it? And as a result, their conversion numbers have dropped off, their cost per acquisition has dropped off, their conversion rate has dropped off, because you're hindering them based on a principle that you've set that in most cases isn't the case. It reached out to the mass, not to the niches. But yeah, overall, I want you to automation is going to be a key element of the future of PPC. You've got smart bidding, which has come into place. And again, this is where Google's going. All automation, all having more control, and you literally looking at the results and them telling you what to do. Responsive search, as I've already talked about. Again, we're in May. This podcast will come out in a couple of weeks once it's, edited and produced. But, by June, expanded text ads cease to exist. So we've not even been doing expanded text ads at all this year. As an agency, we've just been focusing on responsive search ads. And the only way to stand out is by having a very, very good copywriter on your team. And the other thing is to start focusing more on video. So, 80% of all consumers, 82% of all consumer internet traffic will come from video by 2022. We're in 2022 now. These are stats. So including video ads in your PPC marketing strategy is going to be effective for one simple reason. You can capture a large pool of audience. You can, hit more of that discovery informational stuff, which is what we're doing with this podcast, which is why we record it. It's a video element. We can create snippets from it and we can use that in different ways for people. So wrapping up, your focus for Google should be, looking out for what the automation trends are. What you should be focusing on is, if you're struggling with Google ads, you need to be looking at your keyword research, the copywriting of your text ads, your landing page content, because that's going to impact your, quality score of your ads, your ad strength overall. If you're struggling with conversions, look at the bounce rate in Google Analytics from, the actual Google ads to the campaign, and actually the conversion rate within the platform of that, and start investing and spending time learning campaign automation, because it's in line with the algorithm and what's working. So that's the first series of my little slight rant of Google and explaining how Google ads in particular is going. The next talk I'm going to be doing, which will be launched next week, is going to be more in depth about SEO, statistics and stats and what that means. I hope you found this really useful. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us across our YouTube and all our podcast channels. We do also have a website, www.bobblepod.co.uk, which we're revamping as well. So by the time this comes out, you should see some cool elements on that. So yeah. Thank you. That's me, Manni Singh, #Mr. Bobble, doing our second podcast of the season 3.